Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Belmont? How's it going? I think we're live? Possibly?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I guess that's us. All right. Hey, Belmont, I got a question for you since you're here. Have you ever seen the YouTube channel SB Mowing or SB Power Washing? It's basically like ASMR meditation, but for nerds who like that stuff. Oh, yeah, snowing. Not nearly as bad as where Greg lives, Laser Bear, but it's definitely snowing here today. What's up, Paul? All right, Belmont. So I have a question for you then, and this might be kind of dumb, but I'm okay with that. You could totally make fun of me if it is. All the places that guy mows and all the places that he power washes have concrete driveways, and in the Northeast, almost everybody has just has like regular paved driveways, like not concrete, just like your standard. Oh, there goes the plow. But why is that? Somebody speculated that it might be because up north a black driveway would help melt the snow better, but I don't know. I don't know about that. Do you have any insight? Any insider info? Because I went to message you on Twitter like 10 times asking you that, and I was just like, oh, I kept getting sidetracked and I had other crap to do. I was like, I bet you Belmont might know. Get my box of cables. We are almost ready to start. Um, it's almost a cultural thing. So just to match the people next door. Interesting. Interesting. Do you think one lasts longer than the other? Because based on his videos and based on my neighbors, I don't think it matters. I think it all lasts about the same amount of time. But that's a wild speculation. I don't know shit about shit. I'm just kind of keeping my eyes open and seeing. But there certainly aren't any blacktop or concrete driveways that have lasted a gazillion years with no problems around here. So also, here's how ignorant I am. Is one like expensive and fancy and the other one isn't? So like are the people with the concrete driveways, the nose up in the airs, or is it like I have no idea. I've helped my friends pour concrete before and it was hard work, but and I've never done anything blacktop other than that where you get the bags of the gravel with the stuff in them and then you use a tamper and hammer it down, but then you still have little rocks and pebbles tracked through your house, tearing up your hardwood floors. Crap. Can't stand that, but sometimes it's the best way. I thought you might get a kick out of that. Even if everybody else listening is like, why the hell are you talking about driveways in a VHS stream? We're almost done setting up. We'll get to the point in a moment, but all right, so let me pull up an example to show you all why we're doing what we're doing here. Is this the one I was? Okay. Or is this the better one? Okay, perfect. Let me put up an example to show where I've been at. Which one costs more, though? And I swear to God, I'll stop talking about driveways now. I was just really interested, and I think there's got to be fellow nerds on this that are like, you know, I always wondered that too. So I figured I would ask. Us nerds aren't just limited to electronics. We nerd out over lots of things. I randomly found a couple of old muscle car YouTube channels with criminally underrated subs on there that were awesome. I went into that rabbit hole last night when I couldn't sleep. All right, watch your ears, everybody. I don't know if the volume's going to jump on this, but I promise I will try to keep it in check. Concrete costs more than blacktop. Okay, because around here it's like 20 grand to put in a new, longer driveway for blacktop, which I don't have, so I think I might just be filling it with bags of that crap and tampering for the rest of my life. So I was just curious. All right, so I'm going to put on an example here, and it might jump in volume right away, and if it does, I'll grab the volume as quickly as I can so it doesn't.
A reminder to adjust.
Okay, so here's what you're seeing. If you look at the direct HDMI 480i capture, that is exactly the lower left. That's exactly what you would imagine. That is using an Oppo Blu-ray player that supposedly has a source direct mode that gets you exactly what's on the disc, as if you had ripped it. I also did rip it just to see, and it's the same thing, right? Then you have the IO data, which is a very good for the money capture card for this stuff. Let me play that again. Loop. There we go. Okay. Then we have the IO data, which is that $50 capture card, which is good. I don't know how it's going to compare. We'll get to that later on. We have the DataPath Vision SD4, which is very expensive, but it does so many things. Love that I have that. And then we have on the upper left that Hauppauge WinTVR HVR 1850 that has a 3-comb filter. So the biggest difference is the bottom left is supposedly what's exactly on this pattern. The top left is what a 3-comb filter would do for DVD composite video. And here's why we're doing this today. DVD composite video. Whereas the ones on the right are a 2-comb filter, and you could kind of see that the purple flickers the entire time, whereas the top left stops flickering when there's no movement. So that is what we're trying to determine now. So we've obviously shown the difference between a 3-comb filter and a 2-comb filter. But does that matter for VHS? Because the way magnetic tape stores its data, it might not actually make a difference. It might look the same with a 2-comb or a 3-comb. And I don't know anybody who has a solid answer to this, so we're going to answer it today. And that's why this is going to be such a nerdy stream. And I do think the people that are into this stuff are going to, I think they're going to appreciate the post that I eventually write about it. I don't know if they're going to sit through all of this. But so what we're going to do is, let me switch views here. So I'm going to take this Video Essentials DVD, which I made a copy just so I could write on it. Chapter 15 has tests. It's my scientific method of keeping stuff going. And I am going to record that test that you just saw on a VHS tape. And then I'm going to capture that through a 3-comb filter and see if it does the same thing. If it does, then I'm going to put in a 2-comb filter and see. And I'm going to be recording it in S-Video first to see what happens, because I think it should be able to, unless I specifically enable SVHS only mode, we should be able to take the Y and C on the tape the same way that it does from the factory. So we might actually have to do this twice, which is only going to take a couple seconds anyway. And to do this, a friend of mine donated one of these, a brand new VHS tape. Super Alvin technology. That's one crafty chipmunk. Smasher Josh thought about reviewing retro gaming cable's PlayStation 2 component cable. You know, there's not much to review. If you could put it on color testing to make sure there's no color bleed and everything's fully shielded and there's no audio buzz, then it's pretty good. I would happily review it. Rob's just gonna send me one in order to do that. All right, so VHS tape in. Oh geez, remember these labels? Come on, focus. You know, I don't know if I have autofocus set on this thing. Let me double check. I do not. Here we go. That's a blast from the past. Brand new VHS tape. Brand new. Let me flip on one more light, see if I could help that even a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna switch over to a desktop view and we're gonna fire up VDub. All right. I will be watching the comments and let me know if anything goes crazy, if the audio goes nuts. Also, thanks to the stream professor, Epos Vox, I have also set up the stream so that if it crashes, which it probably will, I could jump right back into it. Spasbo hasn't tried their RT4K to watch VHS tapes. Is it any good when using composite video? Yes, when using VHS to watch composite video. Yes, absolutely. But Mike is still going to implement the comb filter that's on, no, I'm sorry, the time-based corrector that's on the 5X. That's on the list. Obviously, Mike's concentrating on things like, you know, getting all the gaming focus first, but then it will be even better. So basically, if you get dropouts, don't worry. Just, you know, when there's a firmware update, you'll be able to do that, or you'll be able to improve upon that. Come on, review a system. We're gonna have our first crash already. All right, I just have to switch to, here we go. If I have to switch to composite now, I don't think that's a problem. Smasher Josh, that's actually not true. Not trying to be a dick, but finding a component or SCART VCR may or may not. Component video VCRs are probably going to be later in life and might actually be crappy VCR or DVD combos. You would be better off finding one with S-video output. However, it's still not going to help with time-based correction. Oh, here we go. Video, S-video in. There we go. All right, it only took me a full couple of minutes. So function set, video calibration, superimpose off, video stabilizer on. Let's turn off the blue back so we don't get the blue flashes if it does drop out. Actually, let's leave it on purpose, because that'll be, I would want this off if I was doing a real transfer. I want it on to see if we do get dropouts. So, SVHS mode, Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Aux input. Okay. And then, no, we don't need the rest of it. So, yeah, Spasbo, that is very common. Honestly, though, if you're talking about archival, archival quality VHS stuff, then yeah, I mean, you're going to want to invest in some good equipment. But if you're talking about, you have a bunch of cool VHS tapes that are sentimental to you that you want to watch on your flat panel with some filters, absolutely, composite video is totally fine. Okay, so we have proof that this is working. I just need to get it through the VCR so that we could record via S-Video. Otherwise, if this doesn't work, then it kind of is going to defeat the purpose unless there's a really good comb filter built into this VCR, which I doubt there would be. So let us try... Oh, that's all I have to do. Flip the channel. Well, shit. That's all right. Capture file. You know what? Let me. Capture. Yeah. Okay, that's set. Even though we're not going to do a capture now, I want it to be there for when we do. Oh, thanks so much, Belmont. Belmont said, I'll be happy to know he's using the affiliate link when splurging on filament for his new 3D printer. That's funny. All right, so it's been over a month since I've done this. So I think all I have to do is go to 15. How do I go to the right, though? No, what about the main menu? There we go. Additional info. Video essentials. No. Man, this is the most annoying to navigate. Start at chapter. Here we go. Okay. It's been well over a month since I've tried anything, and then I ended up getting really crazy sick. I got unlucky. I just got one thing after another. So, so that's the Snell and Wilcox zone plate. Is this it? Yes. Okay. So. All right, so I am going to hit record on this. I'm going to hit play here. We're going to let this sucker go all the way to the end. Should only take about maybe 30 seconds. Hey, Artemio, how's it going? Josh, at this point, I mean, I've been working with Rob for so long that if he has a new product that he thinks he wants me to review, he'll just message me and ask if I want one, and I'm always honest. Hey, no, I don't have any time to do that, or yes, I'm super pumped, or like with the case of the Dreamcast cable, I was like, absolutely, let me, let me do a full video on there for you. Okay, I paused the recording because now, does anybody know if the Video Essentials DVD has that, it's the sharpness thing. Actually, Artemio, you might know. Maybe this has the, it's like the Native American head, and it's for sharpness testing. I mean, I guess we could just go over these real quick. Images. James, I actually have done that since day one. And I always use Make MKV or sometimes any DVD to just rip direct to ISO for 3D Blu-rays and anything where I really need menus like concert discs and stuff like that. And I do not use Handbrake to compress because it is my opinion, you do not have to agree, that why would I compress something when I could get it streaming? I'd rather just, I'd rather keep it in its original format. So I have 40 terabytes filled up on my server of my favorite movies that I want to make sure I don't lose. And as we all know, what's been going on in the streaming world, it's very plausible that we might all lose this stuff at some point. Oh, you haven't seen it in this one. Darn. I mean, I guess we could do some color bars then. Certainly won't hurt. In fact, I guess while I'm flipping through this, I'll just keep it recording just to see what happens. All right, we already did that at the beginning. I'm just hitting the next chapter button a bunch of times until we come across something, but this is probably helpful. I think we should all pay Artemio to do a 240p test suite for a VHS. Just teasing, my friend. I wouldn't ask you to do that. Okay, so stop, rewind, and now I'm going to, there we go. So now I will grab a composite video cable. We're going to switch over to composite. Hey, what's up, Renee? I need a 240p test suite for a Super 8 projector. All right, in, out. Out is on this side. I'm going to completely disconnect the S-video output now, just to make sure there isn't any confusion. And then we just have to switch the input over. I could put this back so you could all see it. Where was that? It was video. Crossbar, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're still seeing that menu, but let me hit play now and see what happens. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, let me, I was not expecting that to work, so let me... All right, so we're going to set the compression to nothing. And so many people get mad when I do this. I don't know why. This is a test. We're removing any kind of video compression as something that could go wrong in these tests. I do want to follow back up with which of these or any codec is the best for archiving 480i. I actually think FFE1 lossless might be, but we'll see. So I'm going to start with uncompressed, and I'm going to... We're just going to go through the tests and capture what we got. I'm also going to, while this is going, grab the 2-comb filter to see, or the capture card with the 2-comb filter to see. Renee, that's exactly what I was originally going to do, except I couldn't find a test in the 240p test suite that was as easy to demonstrate comb filters as this one. So, or at least VHS comb filter would be the better way to say it, as opposed to stuff that you might come from get from a video game console. Well, Josh, I mean, it's also a matter of don't reinvent the wheel, right? The HD Retrovision Wii cables are flawless, so, you know, why would Rob spend the time and money to develop that? I mean, I'm not saying he shouldn't. If he's got time to, definitely, why not, right? Choices are always a good thing. It's just one of those things of like, what are you going to spend your money or your time and your money on, right? All right. We have stopped capturing. Let me rename that file, and I will check it out right here for you all. Yeah, Josh, both composite and S-video are going to be locked to your regional color formats, PAL, NTSC. RGB is the only one that's not, because it's the raw color format. Okay, so this is VHS Hauppauge 3-comb. I'll make it full screen. Yes, I know it's going to look terrible, but whatever. So we see the jiggly sync on top, which is what you're going to get from VHS. That's pretty interesting, though. That's not bad. All right, let's repeat with the other one, and now the stream might crash. So if it does, stay here. Thanks to the stream professor, I now know how to get back in without restarting the stream from scratch. But let's plug this in. Do we have a blue screen? Do we? Do we? No? All right. Move the composite video over. And I think we're going to have to reboot Virtual Dub. I don't think it just detects that right in there. Yeah, let me fire that back up. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to basically just do the same thing I did last time, but with this. Wow, that's weird and not at all what I expected. So VHS is so... Oh, wait, do I have the wrong thing? What an asshole. I'm sorry, everybody. Here we go. Well, I'm going to repeat these tests for you all with the DVD player, just so you could see, again, what it is that I was trying to show, because that's really interesting. And I would actually like to break my LaserDisc player out in a bit and test that too, just because I can't imagine anybody who's willing to join the stream would be upset that I'm pulling out a LaserDisc player to test. Hey, Lemonici, how you doing? Josh, it's identical, component and RGB. I made a mistake. I improperly, 10 years ago now, said that RGB was better on the PlayStation 2. I was wrong. Here's the issue. I used what I thought was a shielded component video cable. It was heavy, it was thick, it seemed like it was shielded. It was not. The moment I switched to HD Retrovision cables, or original Sony would perform the same, then it was instantly visible that component and RGB output were identical. So that's kind of a good thing to note, because you don't have to worry about that stuff. Same thing with the Wii. I originally thought that the Wii had better output on one than the other. And it was not only was it unshielded cables, but I also was I had my RGB monitor set kind of different. So it was never the Wii's fault. It was always my fault. Or never the cable's fault. It was my fault. All right, so now I just want to go back in to... well, I should rename this first. I don't overwrite it. Hold on. Yes. That's the GV3. What was that again? GV USB 2. Okay. Okay, and so what we're going to do here is the same test. Capture, go. So here is the exact same thing we did last time. And you get so much more detail from composite video out of a DVD player. And here is where the comb filter tests really make a difference. And this is what I showed before, but I want to do it in real time, both to show you, but also to make sure that I know I didn't make a mistake, because I make mistakes all the time. The other day I messaged a developer who I really like and asked why the audio DAC on his product wasn't working right. Guess what? My Motu wasn't working right. Artemio, if you're still on, have you run into this before? All the time I'll be recording something and I'll hit record, then I'll hit stop, and I'll hit record again, and when it picks up I get the pops as if it was recording in 44K, but I had it set to 48, even though it had not changed at all. Have you run into that? All right. Yeah. All right, so we'll switch back over to the Hauppauge. Yeah, I agree, Josh. Having that GunCon port is just absolutely key. All right, so let me show you all where we're at now, and this is not what I expected, which is very cool. So here is 3-comb filter on the DVD player. So it's composite video, so it softens everything up, but you get a lot of detail. Now here's 3-comb filter on the VHS player. and that's the hot polish. So you get the sync curl, you get the jitter on screen, you lose a ton of detail, and you lose so much detail that 3-comb versus 2-comb no longer matters. Now here's that 2-comb filter on the VHS player, and that's with the IO Data GV2. The capture seems slightly more stable. There's no time-based correction built in, but it's still slightly more stable, but it otherwise looks the same. So you're not benefiting from the 3-comb filter because VHS is so noisy. And remember, this was recorded in S-Video. This was recorded in YC. And just, once again, here's the DVD player using that same IO data. So the hot polish is definitely better for DVD. I do want to see one thing before we move on to LaserDisc, though, because my curiosity is definitely going to get the better of me here. So I think we could eject this for now from the DVD player. By the way, there's at least 2 more tests to go after this live stream before I do a full video on it. I'd like to shout out the channel. I believe. Hold on, let me double check I get the channel right, because if I don't, I'm gonna feel like a giant turd. Hold on 1 second. Yes. Okay. I'm not even gonna drop a link. The channel is Reasonably British, and I've watched a couple other videos on capture. Very, very funny. I enjoyed him, but also very, very spot on. And I am stealing the Reasonably British trick for testing dropouts for time-based correction. They basically took a big-ass magnet and waved it in front of the VHS player. I thought that was, or not, I'm sorry, the tape, the VHS tape, not the player, not the player. They moved the tape away from the player and did that. I just thought that was the funniest thing. And not only was it funny, but it's actually spot on correct. So, and before I do that, I want to double check my notes to make sure I'm not forgetting something, because I want to be very thorough on this. Okay, yeah, I'm on track here. So we're going to take the VHS S-Video out and try these. See if this makes any difference whatsoever. So, still in the hot polish, right? We'll go to crossbar, S-Video in. All right. And so that's interesting. Even though this is S-Video out and it was recorded in S-Video mode, you still lose quite a lot of detail here. I'm going to do it again on the other one just to see, and I think maybe one more good test would be to enable SVHS mode to do that again. Sorry, I'm going to make sure these files are all named properly. That's a thing that it's a thing that I used to do with my old band, and it drove them crazy. I would always have it year, month, day, time when on the files, and it would annoy them to no end until they started losing files and losing track of when the recording sessions were. And I was like, yep, that's how we do it. You know, so this shouldn't, so menu, function, Yeah, it doesn't make any difference in SVHS mode, but let's try recording that pattern in SVHS mode just for the hell of it. And then we'll do LaserDisc, and I don't think this is going to end up being like a multi-hour stream today. I think this is just going to be whatever we can get. I'm going to let that play to the end as well. My other cable here. Belmont. Love it. All right, so now that we are past that point, let me put this back in, and let's try this test again with SVHS mode on. I honestly don't know what that's supposed to do, because I obviously was recording in S-Video, so I guess we'll have to find out, but... Yep, that is snow outside. Josh, it does not. You have to go into the settings first, but then you should be able to just have regular RGB output. All right, start at chapter 15. Video test material. All right, so... Oh, it just said chapter 14 was sharpness. We should go back to that in a second. All right. Spasmo, so my personal opinion, and you know, if by all means do whatever you want, but I wouldn't buy that until Epos Fox reviews it. You could call that favoritism or gatekeeping or whatever you would like to, but Epos is just such a wealth of knowledge for capture cards. Until he says that it's something we should be using, I'm just not going to worry about it. All right, I'm going to go back to the sub menu. I'm still recording just because why not here? Start at chapter. We saw sharpness here. So let's see, is that the... Oh, no. What is sharpness? This is just an explanation. It's not patterns. Test pattern line drawing. Okay. All right, it doesn't have one just listed as sharpness. So, okay, let's stop and let's play this sucker back and see if there is a difference at all. I'll start with S-Video and then I'll try composite afterwards. That is SVHS mode, and it is zero difference whatsoever. You still lose the detail to the point, and this is S-video output as well, by the way. So it's not just composite versus S-video. This is just the way that VHS stores its data. That's interesting as hell. That is really interesting. All right. Tej, that's exactly what we're proving today. So you are correct, but I wanted to make sure that we proved that with visual examples, which for some reason pisses a lot of people off. Not you. I'm just saying. People get enraged. Why would you show that? Everybody knows that. Do they though? Where's the visual proof of that? Is it just common knowledge? So yeah. Before and after. Okay. All right, so let me rewind this tape to the beginning and eject. I think what we've determined, which people in the industry already know, but we haven't tried with a consumer setup like this, is that VHS tapes don't really benefit from a 3-comb filter because so much information is lost that it's just pointless. So we could remove these. And let me put this aside, and then I will go grab my LaserDisc player. And this is another thing that I want to test that I've been so curious about. LaserDiscs are encoded in composite, unlike VHS that's encoded in YC. However, mine has an S-video port on it. So I was curious, if you're going to rip that stuff, do you rely on the S-video port that's on the LaserDisc player, assuming that whatever player you had must have a good comb filter or something in it, or do you use the original composite video output? And that's what we're going to find out next, I hope. Let me unplug this stuff, move it out of the way. Hey, Clint, what's going on? All right, so we're saving S-video. We got the composite cable. Now it's time for LaserDisc. I forgot that my LaserDisc player is still connected, so I will need a moment. My apologies. This is why I can't have automated setups. This is I've basically undone my entire Extron Crosspoint auto switching setup because of stuff like this. Because it's just kind of pointless, because all I end up doing is taking it apart a month after I do it for stuff like this. So, which I'm totally cool with that, by the way. I'm just saying, it is pointless for me to do these things. All right. Undone. Let's get this heavy beast out of here. There's a foot to something. So 4 more recordings we're going to need to take, but I think what's actually going to take more time than that is figuring out where on this LaserDisc is that test pattern. So let me grab that now. And yes, I bought this just for this stream. Video Essentials LaserDisc. So let's start with S-Video because it's here. It's already plugged in. So power it on. Now my tray sticks very often. So here we go. SCART for VCRs that have SCART are almost surely going to be composite video over SCART. I guess I shouldn't say that. That's a speculation and a guess, but anybody in the PAL territories, please feel free to correct me. I just think that makes logic sense. This is also my first time testing this disc. Came with a strip of film. That's kind of funny. All right, let's start with side 2, because I have a feeling that's where all the test patterns are going to be. Sure. How's it going? Yeah, sit tight. I think this is going to be the way to go, but we're still working on that. You know, I should drop a link in the stream to this too, just in case. Gonna take a quick second here. Pretty relevant to what we're talking about. I have updated the description, and those are the 2 links, although that didn't really come out that well, did it? Let's try this again. Can you click on those? No, whatever. Copy and paste if you need to. Sorry. All right, so I'm gonna hit play. I don't have the remote for this. This is actually Cousin Scott's LaserDisc player, which I'll show the back, some inputs in a bit. Tej, this is exactly what the Video Essentials discs are. All the different test patterns to have an objective view on it. Uh-oh. This LaserDisc that I bought just for the stream, making some funny noises. Oh no, here it goes. Same thing, 15 is video test material, but we have to get it there somehow. By the way, this player is a dual side player, and you should be able to hit between side A and side B, but it never worked from the day my cousin Scott got it. It's never worked. Okay, so I might be able to just... Let me switch over to this view for you all, because I have a feeling this is going to happen pretty quickly here. So... chapter 10, 11... Is it playing? Play. Okay. I think because of so much going on, I'm getting some drops. So let me set that desktop and try again here. And oh, here we go. Beautiful. So that's the S video output. That is interesting. Okay. Okay. So as much as the frames dropped and frames inserted thing bothers me, I think we just have to be realistic that I'm running OBS, I'm doing a stream, I'm capturing, there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Laser Hopage S video. Now I'm going to switch this over to composite. So now we're testing the comb filter difference between the LaserDisc players built in and the Hopage one, which has the 3-comb filter. Video out. Switch inputs. All right. Play. I think I'm just going to let this play because it only took about 1.5 minutes, and we got some pretty cool patterns here and stuff. Also, here's a very good thing to note. It happened again where as soon as I hit capture, frames dropped 27, frames inserted 4, but it wasn't climbing. So having all of that drop to the first second of a recording doesn't mean anything. That's just a buffering or something. So, ooh, so this is pretty interesting. So the comb filter built into this Hopage capture card is better than the one that's built into this LaserDisc player. Oh, interesting. All right, we're gonna hit stop, go back. We'll switch over to the other one, and then I'll play all of these back in a moment after we're done. TV2. Hitting play. Capture. Same thing. It immediately drops 3 frames and inserts 1 at the beginning, and then that's it. So that's something that you should all watch out for, video games and stuff like this. If you get a bunch dropped at the beginning, it's just some buffering and it doesn't matter at all. You know, if the first 2 seconds of your recording is critically important to you, then I don't know what to tell you, but that's a good sign. And this is composite video on the GV1. Artemio, you have picked the perfect time to come back. We have just proved something that you probably already know this, Artemio, but we're going to have some pretty cool visual examples to show people now, just to prove it through. So let's let me back. USB 2. Okay, let me switch this over to S video. And in about 2 minutes, you'll all get to see these comparisons one right after the other. And I think I just have to change the input here. Oh, interesting. Oh, but we're not deinterlacing, so that wouldn't matter anyway, but okay. So let me hit play. Capture. Analog video channel, thank you for that. So basically, it's exactly like in the US where we have those combo players and component video out. It's the same thing for RGB SCART in PAL territory. Well, please excuse me for being presumptuous, but if the name of your channel is Analog Video Channel, of course it's not going to be that surprising to you, but to us normal dummies, it might actually be a surprise. All right, time to show these examples back, and here's where stuff is going to be, here's where I think people are going to be interested. Let me just name this, of course, because... All right, so this is here's S-Video out of... So this is S-Video out of this LaserDisc player. So this is using the LaserDisc player's own conversion of composite to S-Video and filter. And here is composite video, but using the Hauppauge capture card's 3-comb filter. So if you have a very good capture card, definitely use composite. If you're plugging it into, I mean, I would say, depending on the TV, if you have a newer CRT, that might even be better. But here's something else that's interesting. So here is the S-Video out of the player. Hold on, why am I not full screen again? So here's the S-Video out of the player into the USB capture card. And here is the composite video out of that capture card with the 2-comb filter. So I think what we're seeing is, let me pause this. So I'm seeing that the comb filter is 2-comb on the player, but let's see sharpness now. I do realize I'm using full screen mode and it's about the same. So I always had a theory. Renee, if you're still in here, Artemio, definitely. When you run composite video down a shielded cable, you're still having that signal next to all of that interference for the length of a cable. So if you're able to do something like separate it to S-Video at the source and bring it across, you could potentially have less overall interference. I think with composite, though, it's really not going to make that big of a deal. So let's see. So that was S-Video. No, it's about the same. That's composite. And then that's, this is the Hauppauge one. This is the Hauppauge S-Video. So there is some smoothing on the Hauppauge side that does happen. I don't know if that's part of the comb filtering or if that's just something to try to make the video look smoother and less pixelated, which would probably be okay. And then oh, that's pretty interesting. Oh, I could try that DVD recorder. I could certainly try that. Why not, right? So I think what we've determined, and this might actually be, if anybody's looking to rip LaserDiscs, obviously Doomsday Duplicator is going to be the way to go, but that's a lot of work, and you might want to do both. You might, because, in fact, most people get these GV2s to have the video capture for this at the same time that they're doing the Doomsday Duplicator. However, I would recommend this, and this setup might actually be, if anybody needs this, let me know. Analog Video Channel, you'd probably be the only one that need it, and you probably already have it. But this is the hot-wash card inside a Thunderbolt enclosure. So you could use this even with Intel Macs, obviously in Windows mode. But so that would be the second best for LaserDiscs out there. The first is the Doomsday Kit, which is a lot of money and all that stuff too. But that's interesting. All right, well, let me grab the DVD recorder then, and let's see what we could do there. Let's just see what that does. That was a great idea. Thank you, Analog Video Channel. And any other tests you all want me to run today, let me know. I don't expect this one to be like a 3-hour stream like I've been doing for these. I expect to be pretty much completed after this, but it's still really interesting to me, so we are going to be going from composite in, composite out, and I'm just going to use S-Video out from the DVD player just to view. And of course, we'll rip the DVD and show the digital version of that. But for this, I'm going to do that. We will crossbar. Video, okay. Let me plug this sucker in, and should only take a moment. That was a great idea. And then once the DVD is finalizing, I could take any questions. We'll have another fun discussion about this stuff, and we'll see the results. I also have, oh, you know what else we should probably do? No, never mind, because I was going to say if comb filters matter, we could test the DVD VHS combo unit that I have. Maybe I'll do that while this thing is finalizing, just for the hell of it. But we don't need to worry about that right now. I do need to find where my blank DVDs went, though. That might take a second. If you were a blank DVD, where would you be? No batteries. Oh, good observation, Leon. You know, if anybody wants these too, I could probably get the raw files uploaded somewhere. I am going to put this all together in an actual, like a real video to present this info to people at some point. But for now, I could upload it privately if anybody wants to see them just for their own curiosity. Or I'll probably just upload the comparison stuff. up to like a Google Drive or something. I think I found what I was looking for. All right, I think I got them. So the one thing I noticed last time was that a bunch of people in the chat, might have been you as well, Analog Video Channel, recommended that I change some settings on the DVD recorder, and that made everything worse. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm a nerd just looking for data here, so I'm not throwing shade, but I believe it was a brightness setting that was changed, that when it was back to default, it looked significantly better. So let's definitely check that out at some point. Uh-oh, I had to move a Wii fitness thing that I'm selling for a friend soon, and I happen to see, uh-oh. Oh, Danielle's gonna be mad. I didn't even know there were batteries in there. My friend gave that to me. I was supposed to do a Wii stream like 6 months ago, and I was gonna sell that at the same time, and I forgot. But the batteries obviously had been in there a lot longer than that. Damn it. All right, much better. Sorry for the distraction, but if I hadn't done that right now, I would forget, and it would have been worse the next time I went to see it. All right. So let me grab the brightness thing first. Leon, the goal is overall education on how to figure this stuff out for everybody's own use. For me personally, I'm going to archive a couple of cool LaserDiscs that I have, and I'll probably do it through the Hauppauge and S-Video. In composite video, let it do its filter, and then I was going to turn the LaserDiscs over to somebody with a Doomsday duplicator that would do. Because here's the biggest difference between the Doomsday duplicator and this. If you're trying to archive the Video Essentials disc, let's just say, and you have 10 different discs, if you do the Doomsday rip on all 10, you could use software to take the data from all and make up missing bits of each with all 10. You can't really do that with a standard composite video capture. So that's going to be the single biggest reason to do that. And that's why I want my LaserDiscs sent to somebody who cares about this stuff, because even if you already have the Metallica Live LaserDisc, what if yours drops out in a couple places and mine doesn't? So when you run it through the software, it puts it together. So that's kind of a cool thing that I think is important. I don't want to set the clock. Get out of here. The menu button was very weird. I definitely remember that last time. It wasn't what you would think. So, wasn't just pressing enter, was it? No. Functions? Okay. Other functions, setup. We don't care about that. Don't care about those. Settings for recording. Yep. Less compression. And of course, I hit the wrong button. Let me give you the other view so you could see what I'm walking through. So Leon, that's something I want to talk about too. Leon said he had great success with filters and Handbrake, decomb filter, unsharpened filter. So the way I would prefer to archive VHS tapes is to do an uncompressed capture, which I know is going to take up a lot of space, but whatever. And then after I have that capture, then compress it down and maybe add some filtering or something to it. Okay. Black level control. So this is, I think, what we messed with last time. Input level lighter or darker. Audio. Let's just leave this as defaults. So funny, it says to hit return to go back to the setup menu. Maybe do I hit this instead? Oh, yeah. No, it always exits me out of the menu. What a pain in the ass. Yeah, analog video channel, will you help me out here? I'm obviously looking like a moron just fumbling through these menus. By the way, too, I'm not sure if this is what analog video channel meant, but this DVD recorder that I'm using, you could just use its comb filter and time-based corrector if you want to go direct into a capture card. So for example, if I wanted to just use that I/O data, which is perfectly fine other than not having a 3-comb filter, if this thing's 3-comb filter works well, then I could actually use it. And in fact, we're going to do that. We're going to record at the same time to test that. So, but I just need to double check. Were there any accessible via the display button? Thank you. Thank you. That was right. I was right. All right. So we have everything else set. So let me hit display. Let me exit then and hit display. Yes. Do we want line and noise reduction on or off? I could swear we wanted it off. And other position? Oh, I don't think that matters. I know there's a delay here, so I'm just being patient. Let me just hit the display button one more time. Does that anything else open up? Okay. Disk. All right. So here we got picture, normal, cinema, fine, soft, normal, I'm assuming. MPEG digital noise reduction, I'm assuming we want that very off, but line in noise reduction, do we want that on? And then audio. I'm going to leave this up for a second before I hit record, just because finalizing takes so long that I don't want to mess with that until we're confirmed. Anybody from the Doomsday Duplicator crew here? Anybody from the Discord? Specifically for the LaserDisc side? I really would love to meet somebody that shares my probably useless desire to back up my LaserDiscs for everybody else to share, because I have some neat ones. Nothing crazy. Nothing like, oh wow, it's the, you need to buy a LaserDisc player just for this. I got some basic stuff. All right, I think I gave it enough time. I think I'm just gonna go with what we got here. I think picture in, okay, so let me hit record. Let me hit play, and then let me also hit record here. So once again, this is composite video from the LaserDisc player into the DVD player, and then S video out of the DVD player into the I/O data. So essentially, the DVD player is using its comb filter, which we'll find out if it is a 3-comb filter. It's 2.5. 2.5 seems about right. And since finalizing takes so unbelievably long, I figured we should also just probably just wait for a couple other patterns after this as well. So if anybody here needs the hot polish capture card with a 3-comb filter, I have 2, and I also have that external Thunderbolt enclosure, which is a lot more expensive than the capture card, but you could use it for anything. So it's not just for that. So I've actually used that to swap out external cards for testing. All right, I think these are just solid pictures, so I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna stop them both. You know what's funny is the LaserDisc player always opens when there's a disc in it. Not, the flap issue only happens when it's empty. I thought that was kind of funny, but all right. So powered off the LaserDisc player, and then we should be able to just go in here. How do I finalize? Functions. Other functions. Disk management. Finalize. Yes. And start. Okay. So, while we wait for this thing to finish, any questions, any other ideas, anything at all, basically, because we got to kill 20 minutes. The Real OC Gamer, thank you so much for the super chat. Very, very much appreciated. Are there any comb filter devices I could recommend for cleaning up an RF signal before it goes to a VHS for conversion to composite? So, or after the VHS either? No, I don't know. And I kind of just embrace RF for what it is. What I'm very curious about, though, is do some RF adapters have like capacitors in them or something? Because or are some just better than others? Because if you use like a Master System RF adapter on a on like a Nintendo or a Nintendo on a Master System, it'll work, but sometimes one will be significantly better, and it's not locked to the brand. So it's not like, oh, the Nintendo one's always better. So is it just that they age bad? Is it, do caps need to be replaced? That's the question that I would definitely ask. But as for filtering, I don't know, that's a tough one. Does anybody else know the answer to that? That's actually a very good question. I can tell you for sure that external time-based correction for VHS is very expensive, to the point where if Mike's able to implement some decent correction in the the Tink 4K, even at its price point, it'd still be cheaper than the data video one as long as it could hold up. So I guess that's the very last thing we could try as well, is putting it through the Tink 4K while we're waiting for this thing to finalize. Just putting my LaserDisc away. Oh shit, Leon. Thank you. Thank you very much, Leon. That's very funny and embarrassing. 10 minutes from now, I'd be wondering why I'm getting a low drive warning or something. All right. So yeah, if anybody from the Doomsday crew is listening to this even after the fact, please hit me up. I'd love to send somebody my LaserDiscs just to have. Even if y'all think it's stupid, that's totally fine. I tried hitting stop a bunch of times. Weird. All right, so let's drop this file here. Let's see if exit capture mode. Drag that file here. Uncompressed. So this is the recording we just got. So some context. So this is composite out of the LaserDisc player into composite input of the DVD recorder, and then S-video out of the DVD recorder into the capture card that does not have a 3-comb filter. So here is that same thing. So that's direct composite into that capture card. So it appears that the comb filter in the Blu-ray or the DVD player here is better, but not as good as the hot polish one. And I'm really interested to see how the DVD recording itself is going to look in comparison. Final Chapter X, thank you very much. You too. It's snowing here. I'm probably gonna have to go out and shovel after this. How do I get my CPU power down to 5%? I don't know, I got an i9 processor just for the hell of it. Forgot to enable streamer mode. All right, well, Anything else that we could test here? Because VHS into the DVD recorder, we've already proved that 3-comb filters aren't really going to make a difference. So that wouldn't matter. It's going to... time-based correction is the only thing that I would like to test, but I don't have tapes that I know for sure are jumpy. We could do the tinks. That's what we could do. That's what I said I was going to do. I forgot about. Okay, we could do the tinks. Let me start to pull this stuff apart. Well, hold on a minute. So if comb filters don't matter, what would the purpose of testing the RetroTink 4K be? Not that they don't matter, I'm sorry. If 2-comb versus 3-comb filter doesn't matter, why are we testing through the Tink? I'm drawing a blank here. I'm also just kind of thinking out loud, which is why I'm sounding like such a moron, but it happens. Yeah, I think we could skip the Tinks for this one. I think we're going to need it for time-based correction, and I think we're going to need it for... I think that's really it, because it's got a 2-comb filter built in. So I think the next test that we're going to need to perform is use the reasonably British method of taking a magnet to a VHS tape to make sure that it gets dropped out, and basically to ruin it, because you want dropouts when you're doing that kind of test. And then we could test the time-based correction on the Tink 5X, on this DVD recorder, and whatever else that we feel like. So that'll be one of the final streams before I do a VHS capture video. Compare the Tink for LaserDisc. That's a good idea. You get credit for that, Analog. Even if I said it, it's not what I meant, so you get credit for that, because that is a good idea. Let me get the disc back out, and let me get the Tink set up. So we definitely know that we're not going to be using the S-video out, so that's one less test to perform. So let's do composite video from the LaserDisc player to the Tink 4K. And I guess the Tink 5X if we really need to. And then, yeah, that'll be perfect. Then I'll... Side 2 again. Okay. Here. This reach. Out. All right. Drag that down here just so we can see the disk finalize. Leave this up here. Input. So what I'm going to do for this stream is record using the very terrible built-in Rec Central, and when the stream is over, then I'm going to go back and use my 4K capture method just for the heck of it, because it'll probably crash the computer if I try to do that while I'm streaming. So let's test material, play. You know, I'll make it full screen, so at the very least we could see it like this. Oh, it would help if I put the setting back. Sorry. All right, here we go. So it's a 2-comb filter then, which is absolutely fine for video games and more than enough for VHS, as we just proved. So for LaserDisc, playback should be more than enough, but for archival capture, you're probably going to want to get one of those Hall-Posh cards, and if it's really important to you, a Doomsday Duplicator kit. Actually, I think this is one of the rare cases that this compressed version of the capture doesn't really matter, because check it out. I mean, it proves it, because this is a comb filter test. So yes, there's compression artifacts all around here. That's has nothing to do with the comb filter. All right, finalizing is complete. The disk is now available for playback. Eject. And this is the LaserDisc comb filter test. I'll leave this back here in case we need it. I don't think we need that anymore. All right, so this is the digital file I just pulled from that DVD. Oh, did you see the compression? Look at the compression when it switches. Wow, I don't even know if that's going to come through on stream, but I bet it will. And then we'll get to the next tests here. So that looks compressed, and the comb filter is a little wacky. That's interesting. I'm really glad we ran this test. I'm wondering, so I would never use this DVD recorder to transfer LaserDisc to DVD then. I'm not sure if the compression would kill VHS past what it already is, but all right, let's look over here. So this is going through the DVD recorder to via S-Video to that other capture card. So just coming in, I guess I didn't hit record fast enough, but we can still see the far less interference around that here. You all seeing this too, or am I just kind of crazy? Let me go back to the DVD recorder version. Huh. Yeah. Interesting. I will check the chat, and then I'm going to do one more test for the hell of it, and then we're out. So we just did composite video from the Tink, or from the LaserDisc player to the Tink. Let's just try S-Video just to see. Maybe this is one of the situations in which you would want to use the S-Video output of your LaserDisc player. Final test, and then I'm going to end this stream. So any other questions, please let me know now, and I will happily answer anything. And then I'm going to go get some lunch. Input, front S-Video. Record. And play. Whatever's in the freezer, Belmont. I gotta, later on I'll get some real food, but this is one of those, like, whatever I could microwave to get me through to, I gotta record the weekly podcast after this too, so. Just enough to get me through it. And tonight I think I'm going for quesadillas, because I love Tex-Mex. Any of my Mexican friends listening, I know it's not Mexican food. I also love huevos rancheros and a whole bunch of other stuff I can't really pronounce that's delicious. But as far as Tex-Mex goes, I'm a quesadilla guy. Chicken, lots of cheese. All right, hit stop. Go back on this one. All right, so here is composite video into the RetroTink 4K using its 2-comb filter. Other than the comb filtering, I think it looks pretty excellent. And the comb filtering isn't bad, it's just not as good as the 3-comb. And then here is S-Video, same scenario. And please ignore the compression. That is because I just used this test is only for comb filters. We're not looking at compression here. Yeah, I think they look about the same. So basically that means the 2-comb filter in a very high-end LaserDisc player, high-end for the time, is going to be about the same as the Tink 4Ks. For now. For now. All right, well, I am going to start cleaning up. I'm going to do it on stream in case anybody has any questions or anything, but feel free to drop off right now, especially if you're listening after the fact here. But I just figured, since I'm going to have to be here for 5 more minutes cleaning up anyway, if anybody has any questions about what the heck just happened or anything else, I might as well try and make myself useful to you. See, Danielle, I'm taking my batteries out. Well, at least to the ones I don't use all the time. Thank you, El Famoso. And if I unplug that capture card and the stream crashes, I'm not going to reconnect just to say goodbye. Well, it didn't crash though. Where can we get that sweet hoodie? Thank you, Belmont. RetroRGB.link/t-shirts. I don't know why I made it plural, but yeah, that's it is nice and warm. I'm very happy with it. I'm gonna go shovel my driveway after lunch wearing this thing. And once again, if anybody's looking for those 3-comb filter capture cards, or even that that Thunderbolt external enclosure, if you want to use it with a laptop, let me know. And especially if anybody wants to help archive these on the Doomsday forum or Discord or something. Hey, what's up, Dreamcaster? You caught me right as I was cleaning up. I'm just kind of leaving the stream going in case anybody has any questions or anything, but I'm about to finish up. By the way, shout out to Chris who gave me that Dell monitor for free. That it's just got every input. It's not a great monitor, but it's got every input. It's 1080p, and it's been helping out really great for a secondary display on these streams. Because now I could, instead of trying to do the weird window capture stuff I used to do, anybody remember some of the other streams that I had that? Now I could just capture the entire display rather than window capture and just have a 1080p version. So it worked out very, very, very nicely. You know, there's somebody listening to this at the gym or something where they're like jogging on a treadmill and they don't have access to their phone. It's just like sitting a couple feet away and they're like, will this stream end? All I could hear is this dude breathing into the mic, putting stuff away. Yeah. Some people are into that. Yeah, I guess. You know, there is one thing I said I would do that I didn't, which I could do right this second, is I said I would show off the back of this LaserDisc player because it's kind of cool. So I'm going to do that right now. So it's got digital output, and I think that's twofold. I think that's both a digital to, or an analog to digital converter, as well as for accessing any digital tracks that might be on the LaserDiscs. It's got 2 composite video outputs, 2 S-video outputs, and 2 discrete set of left and right audio outputs. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't see that on a lot of equipment. Yeah, this sucker is large and heavy. It's not PVM heavy, but you know, it's not VCR weight. It is much heavier than that. All right, that's it. You're all awesome.